I introduce the next speaker, I just want to acknowledge the presence of Rabbi David, the Bora D'Asra, who took time from his very busy schedule to come, and it's true kavod for Rabbi Anemer. Dr. Siegman mentioned the classes which Rabbi Anemer gave at the girls' school. For those of us who were in the boys' division, the yeshiva, Friday, we actually knew very well that he gave those classes, because Friday morning was our one little breather from Rabbi Anemer's presence at our base medrash. We could just relax a little bit because we knew he was at the girls' school. Then someone would always see the car, the Lincoln, pulling into the parking lot, and we'd get right back to serious business. To represent that side of Rabbi Anemer's impact on the community, it's an honor to call on a well-known educator, Ms. Linda Derovan.
First, I would like to give a hearty yasher koach to both Rabbi Lippman and Dr. Siegman for their putting this together this evening in honor of memory of Rabbi. It is a great honor to have been asked to speak in this distinguished forum tonight. I was asked to speak because among the many distinctive things that Rabbi Anemer Zatzal did, he was committed to teaching Torah to females. He started the yeshiva high school with a class of 6 girls, the class before mine, and did not say that the community had to wait to start with the boys' class. And in each year he continued to teach a class or two to the girls of the yeshiva. But this story starts even before he founded the yeshiva. I remember as a little girl when the rabbi and his family came to Shemesh. This was always a unique shul, filled with very brilliant people who had all sorts of academic degrees and worked in various government offices, research labs, and academic institutions, the base of what eventually became the Association of Orthodox Jewish Scientists. I remember hearing as a child that when the shul was looking for a rabbi, they specified that they did not want someone with an academic degree. It was simple, they said. We have the academic credentials. We want a Rav, someone who is an accomplished Talmid Chacham and has the equivalent of a PhD in Torah. I have no idea what was discussed, although Mr. Mendelowitz, of course, gave us some insight to that this evening at those board meetings and what criteria were set. But I know that the result was that Rabbi Gedaliah Anemer Zatzal was hired. In Pirkei Avot, the first paragraph, Yossi ben Yoezer teaches, Yehi ve'cha ve'va'ad v'chachamim. From the moment that Rabbi Anemer came into the shul, the number of shiurim increased for members of all ages. Not only was there a nursery school in the shul, but there were weekly and daily shiurim for the adults, and there were Shabbos groups for the children of the shul. These groups were based on learning, not coming just to run wild in the shul. And for the Chachamim, he enlisted those very credentialed academics and scientists and researchers, since they were also Talmidei Chachamim, and had them give us shiurim in Pirkei Avot, Parsha, Megillot, and Mishnayot. When we got to these subjects in school, the children from Shomrei Emunah were already well-versed in these areas and outshined the other students. Besides seeing to it that we got this learning, it trained us that learning was not something that you did only in school or for school. Yehi vekha bayit beit va'ad chachamim. After all, Shabbos was one of our days off, but we had such a great time in these Shabbos groups that the rabbi had established. We never missed. No matter how bad the weather might be, we traced every Shabbos afternoon, stayed for Mincha, Shalosh Shudas, and Marga, and waited for our parents to pick us up after Shabbos and go home. The Mishnah continues, V'hevei mitavek ba'afar ragleihem. When I got to the yeshiva for 10th grade, I was then zochet as well to learn with the rabbi himself, after many years of listening to his sermons, Divrei Torah, and Divrei Halacha in shul. But this was a different atmosphere. I remember learning Nevi'im, Yeshayahu and Yirmiyahu, and Halacha, the Chod Shabbat with him, and was always mesmerized. He would walk in with the Sefer in his hand, That's all. Open it, read the text with us, and then, and then we got his explanations, interpretations, and messages. He spoke to our group of 16 female students as if we were the largest Beit Midrash. But if he detected a question on the look of one individual's face, he would ask what she didn't understand, making sure that we all understood what was being learned, how to practice the halacha, how to apply what we were learning to our lives. Sometimes it was a struggle, a ma'avak, but he escorted us through that encounter with Torah, encouraging us to learn and use our deductive skills to make it our own. Yes, he smiled and joked with us. Even though he used that now legendary booming voice, he tempered it with his smile, with a joke, and with questions to get us involved in the learning. And the Mishnah ends, "Vehevei shotebet sama et divrehem." You never missed Rabbi Anemer's class, and not out of fear, but because you knew that you would always walk away wiser, enriched, and a better, more knowledgeable Jew, because you enjoyed the anticipation of what you might learn next from him. It was many years ago when I sat in his class, but just this summer I had the privilege of learning from him again personally. I was in Silver Spring for my niece's wedding. And there was a question about how one of the Eidim should sign his name on the ketubah. I was assigned the job of asking the rabbi, a job that I enthusiastically accepted because, as anticipated, it brought me back to that Rav Talmidah status with him. I asked the question, and he gave me an initial answer. Then he called me on the phone twice more to expand and make additions to his decision. And even at the wedding, he took me aside to add further insights as to how he arrived at the answer, so that I would understand it exactly. His willingness and enthusiasm to bring us to the Be'er Mayim Chaim of Torah elicited that response of Vehevei shotebet sama et divrehem. We will not have a teacher like him again, but can honor what we learned and gained from him. In the way we live, raise our children, and conduct our lives, and most important, in our continued pursuit of learning Torah. Yehi Zikro Baruch.